Hello and welcome to the Australian Olympic Changemaker Forum. Changemakers, teachers, classmates, families and friends, the Changemaker program feels even more special, I'm sure you'd agree, being an Olympic year after just watching the incredible results in Paris. My name is Chloe Dalton. I'm an Olympic gold medalist in rugby sevens from Rio in 2016. I'm so excited to be back again this year. When I was asked by the AOC to come back this year, I was so honoured and excited. This is one of my favourite days of the year to be here with you all. Congratulations to each of you who have been selected as this year's 2024 Australian Olympic Changemakers. You're joining us from all around the country right now, and how wonderful that no matter where you are, we are all here together, part of this special, special movement. The Australian Olympic Changemaker program identifies and brings together young Australians who are making positive impact in their school or local community. I love how the forum connects students from all around the country, from Catherine to Launceston, Ceduna to Christmas Island and everywhere in between. You are now united as changemakers. This year, hundreds of students across Australia have been recognised as changemakers, and nominations are still open, so the numbers will continue to grow. It's so inspiring to see young Australians like yourselves making an absolutely incredible difference in your communities. Where are you viewing today? With your class, school, or at home? Take a picture and share it with us. Make sure you use the hashtag #PowerTheChange2024 and tag @AusOlympicTeam. We're thrilled to be coming to you today from Meta Studios in Sydney. Thank you for having us. And we're lucky enough to be joined by some of our New South Wales and ACT-based changemakers here in the live audience. A big welcome to you all. Thank you so much for travelling to be with us. I think we've got Ballina, Canberra, Tamworth, Wagga Wagga, as James touched on. It's just amazing. We'd also like to welcome our team partners who are with us here today. The forum is a chance to celebrate and congratulate all of the changemakers on your fantastic work and to bring you together, to inspire each other to continue doing the incredible things that you're doing in your own communities. To provide some of that inspiration, we are thrilled to introduce some of the Olympians who are here in the studio with us today. When James mentioned Olympians before, I saw you looking at some of the green polo shirts up the back trying to work out if they were the Olympians. They weren't in here yet, but I'd like to welcome them now. So please give a big welcome, Keisha Gophers, Harry Garside and Lani Pallister. They are ready to come up on stage, but not yet. Your time will come. Your time will come. You will be hearing about their incredible experiences in Paris, and I can't wait to invite them up here to chat with us shortly. But right now, we want to talk about you all, our change makers. Each year, we continue to be amazed by what you're achieving in your schools and communities. Through the videos that have been sent in, we've seen equality initiatives, fun runs and bike rides to raise money for charities, coaching groups with language barriers, and working with students with disabilities, and so much more. Let's take a look at what some of our change makers from 2023 got up to.
I play tennis.
I play cricket.
I play netball.
I play rugby.
I play soccer. And we're all powering the change.
I love my sport. It makes me feel healthy and adventurous. I power the change by encouraging girls to give it a go.
So I decided to power the change in mental health.
Because I love the local community and I love my sport, I'm eager to share this with as many people as possible.
My aim is to power the change for gender equality.
But it wasn't until I was 16. I had a team for me to play on.
I power the change by helping these little guys to get outside, get active and start fostering a love for football.
As captain, it was my goal to create a really cohesive team atmosphere where every single member of the team felt safe to be who they were.
I'm learning sign language to help me coach and communicate more effectively with a hearing impaired athlete.
Everyone should be able to access the sports that they truly enjoy.
I sent up sporting equipment to a rural town in Northern Territory. This is one step closer to everyone having the opportunity to play sport.
I actively use sport as a vehicle to drive social change by reducing the stigmatism and advocating sport for all ages.
I enjoy helping out my local community and future generations. whether that's organising skateboarding competitions or helping empower those with disabilities enjoy the love of surfing.
Over the past 5 years, over 300 Indigenous kids have participated in Bumajee swimming lessons. I started Bumajee because I wanted to make a change in my community.
I raised over $3,000 that goes towards the push for a better foundation.
Collected old clothes from students within my school to donate to my local Vinnies to help those in need and reinforce positive social impacts.
I worked with my dad to create a non-profit volleyball organisation, the Melbourne Volleyball Club. We've raised about $4,000 from our donors for our cause.
I've been able to regularly mentor these kids and have watched them become comfortable in the youth community, growing friendships, self-confidence and a love of sport.
I'm the college captain and also the ambassador of our school program called the SEED program.
I've had the opportunity to have my input from a rural perspective for solutions in the netball world for the entire state of South Australia.
I love sports, I love helping people, and every single day I strive to be a better person.
My aim is to give back to the people in the sport that have helped me get to where I am today.
I get to share my love of sport and watch it blossom with someone else.
I used the phrase "get around it" a fair bit, which turned into this movement at my school.
Get Around It had a great knock-on effect. The chat around the playground became more positive and there was a real buzz around the school.
I believe my contribute to school and community sports have empowered others in their community to change for the better.
I see sport as a platform to drive positive change within my community and fostering unity among diverse backgrounds.
So it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. You're an Australian. The world's changing, and as long as you're passionate, committed and resourceful, you too can power the change.
The responsibility is on us together. The future generations must power the change.
If everyone works together to promote excellence, friendship and respect in the Olympic values, then together we can power the change.
I absolutely love watching those. I think I reflect when I was in high school, I was pretty much just focused on getting a good score for my ATAR and not really worried about anyone else at all around me. So I think it's quite incredible to see a generation of young people who are so passionate about creating change. So hats off to all of you. It's just amazing what you are doing. There are thousands of change makers out there with over 6,000 nominated change makers. As you know, all change makers are all invited to create a 1-minute video to show how you are making a difference. Your videos then go to an Olympian panel who have the very, very difficult task of selecting change makers to go to the National Summit in Canberra. With us today, we have Molly Hutchison, who we saw in the video and who was at the summit last year. Let's hear from Molly, who will give a little bit of an insight into the Changemaker Summit experience. Let's take a bit of a look at the summit highlights while Molly joins us on stage.
When I first saw that I got accepted, I couldn't believe it. Over the course of 2 days, we've connected together, working together and hearing other people's points of views and working towards the same thing.
I'm impressed every year, and yet again, the ideas, the confidence of the presentation from the Olympic changemakers from all around Australia is just so impressive and so inspiring.
Giving young leaders and students the platform and ability to share their voice on this stage is such an incredible opportunity.
It's really great to put myself out there and spend a lot of time with other athletes who are like-minded.
Getting to know the other changemakers and really finding that common ground and common goal that we really do share. It was amazing.
I think what most impressed me about the presentations is they really took into account a whole range of different factors. They weren't just thinking of these big ideas and not really thinking about how to execute them. It was a really well-rounded approach to these issues.
Getting to hear everybody's stories has really inspired me, especially becoming young adults and future leaders for the nation. I like that we can all put something new to the table.
Sharing our experiences, doing different activities, having a bit of fun, and just meeting everyone was definitely a great experience.
1, 2, 3, Changemakers! All right,
How good is that? Yeah, give him a round of applause, I think. Molly, I got to meet you at the summit last year. Can you share some of your highlights from that experience?
Yeah, sure. I'd first like to say congratulations to all of you guys here today.
You should be so proud of yourself and all the things that you've achieved. Definitely share them with each other today and share them with all the people around here. I know they really want to hear about what you guys have done. On the summit, you spend 3 nights and 4-ish days in Canberra, and you really just get to connect with like-minded people, spend quality time with them, and one of the main projects on it is you get to work with a group and an Olympian mentor about coming up with sort of a pitch, an initiative that the Australian Olympic Committee can take on. And then we got to pitch it in Parliament House, which was so cool, to all these important people. And it was sort of scary at first, the idea of pitching something and working with people that you don't know super well, but you really get close with them over 3 days. It sounds crazy, but like all the people in the videos, they're some of my best mates now. And so, yeah, it's just a really cool experience to get to put together something that you're interested in.
For someone out there who might be thinking about submitting a video, why should they do it?
Because you've got nothing to lose. Honestly, that's my main point that I'd give you guys. I think it's really important that you recognise that you've been nominated for a reason, and whether that reason or that video gets you to the national summit or not, it's not about that. It's about putting together something that showcases what you've done, because you really need to value that and you need to be recognised for that. So working with your mates, working with your family, your teachers to make a video can actually be really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'd be at Saturday Sports and go, guys, I need this video quickly, and it would be really fun. And I did that quite a bit over a couple weeks because you've got a little bit of time to film it, and putting it together, showing your mates. I think I've watched mine a lot of times. And showing a lot of people that I love, because it's just really important that sometimes this award, what you're recognised for, can be behind the scenes, like talking to your teammates, sort of encouraging people to participate, watching from the side, and sometimes it doesn't get recognised, but you're all here, you've been nominated, so it's really important to showcase that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Molly. Let's put our hands together for her. I'm just going to relocate chairs. I had back surgery 2 weeks ago, so I'm moving a little bit slowly. If I look awkward getting up and down out of the chairs, I'm relocating chairs before we get ready for our Olympians panel. But before we get to that, I just wanted to do a little nod to our incredible Paralympians who've just wrapped up in Paris 2024. I thought we'd do a little round of applause because they were absolutely amazing. I'm going to probably get emotional in this video, but we're going to take a look at some of the golden moments from the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
Now, it is up to the athletes. We're with you. Let the games begin.
When they ask me where...
Fire up! Work for you, mate! Show me how much this jersey means to you! On your feet, 1, 2, 3!
For Grace Brown. Beautiful. That is the newcomer, Callahan. Australia wins again. Australia take gold to Australia. 4 in a row. They are now untouchable. And she swims into history. 40 hours amount to this. And my home can account to this. She's small. That's terrible.
But that's the sport, there's highs and lows. I'm an Australian, how I don't give up.
Faced up. Home or away, tore the place up. We made them afraid they wanna face us. Pats on the back, brother, great stuff. They only push through if you let them. They only gonna fail if you test them. They're bound to get taught a very hard lesson if they wanna ask these questions. Just like when they ask me where I'm from, I say here. When they ask me where I'm going, I say here. I say here. Cruz goal. Say here.
This is true. Not once, but twice for Keegan and for Australia
to carry the pressure of being the flag bearer. And Jess, simply the best. Hold the skills, own the drill, blood drives, bone field, own the field. Wear battle scars like a golden seal. Put a name on the plot so we know it's real. Said you couldn't do it, but they ain't now. You've come through, so I wanna back down. Come on! Trained so hard, nearly blacked out. Check the stats.
I really thought that I could win that gold medal, but
That's a failure, right? That's sport. That's life. Own my mistakes. See it in my face. If they want to ask a question, you know what to say. Like when they ask me where I'm from, I say here. When they ask me where I'm from, I say here. When they ask me where I'm from, I say here. When they ask what I'm dreaming of, I say here. She's done it. 6-5 to the never say die, Matilda.
All before them.
And then she's off.
And straight to her brother Kai.
You're a legend. She didn't just make the Olympics. She won the Olympics. Unbelievable save.
Our greatest Olympic, successful Olympic team in history.
Greatest Olympics ever. How good is it to be an Australian in Paris?
In a place where dreams be, I am. Where you walk and see me. We are here.
Greatest Olympics ever. How good was that? It is now time to welcome our Olympians to the stage. And for you guys in the crowd, we're going to be opening up at the end for some questions. So while they're chatting on the panel, have a bit of a think if there's anything you want to ask them. First up, she's a triple Olympian in water polo. She made history with the Stingers winning silver in Paris. Welcome, Keisha Gophers. In Tokyo, he won Australia's first Olympic boxing medal in decades. And in Paris, he shared so openly the highs and lows of elite competition. We're thrilled he's here today, Harry Garside. Finally, she followed in her mum's footsteps to become an Olympian in her debut in Paris, where she won gold in the 4x200 metre relay. Welcome, Lani Pallister. Welcome. We are ready to have you on the stage now. Thank you for waiting, Olympians. It's good to have you here. We might start with you, Keisha. What was the village experience like for you?
The village experience, I've been to 3 village experiences and there's nothing that compares. You get to see these amazing athletes who you know have worked just as hard as you have day in, day out. You get to know them, learn a bit more about their experience, and have these people that have, again, worked so very hard, and you're on this journey of 2 weeks with them. And because, water polo is the entire time. So we get to see people come in, come out, be happy, be sad. We get to see the whole range of emotions. And it's really an incredible thing and an incredible way to witness humanity, I suppose, to really see everything that it has to offer you in just such this microcosm that is the Olympic Village.
Harry, are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, I am. I love coffee.
There was a lot of chat about the Aussies having a barista in the village. Can you touch on some of the other little Aussie touches that were there to make you guys feel at home?
Yeah, well, definitely the envy of the world. Everyone kept walking past us. I could smell the barista coffee. I just kept walking out the front, just showing them that I had the coffee. I was like, screw you guys. But honestly, the Australian headquarters, Tokyo was my first Olympics, and my Olympic dream started when I was 7 years old. And I remember when I went to Tokyo and just walking in the village, I felt like a little kid. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but I just felt like a little kid that was just inspired by athletes when I was younger, and to sort of bump shoulders with someone like a Jess Fox, Paddy Mills, Kaylee McEwen. It was just an unbelievable feeling. And you sort of walk into your room, you got photos of iconic Australian things in your room. I think I had in my room the 12 Apostles, which is pretty wild on the Great Ocean Road, just a photo of that, which is pretty cool. You get all these drawings from people in schools and stuff like that in your room as well. So it made you feel like you're at home, although you were so far away from home, and it was very special.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Lani, did you try a chocolate muffin?
I tried the chocolate muffin, but they had these cookies that had melted chocolate and stuff on top of it more. So the muffin was okay. I think it's the same as a Costco muffin with Betty Crocker's icing on the inside is the closest thing that I can compare it to from home. But no, No, I think I had more cookies than I had chocolate muffins. But the muffin man was a swimmer, so I got to see him making content whilst we were out and about.
I love that. How is it for you being at your debut Olympics, walking into the village for the first time?
Yeah, it was wild. And I'm such a social person. So I was hugging friends that I hadn't seen in a couple years. And I got to the point where I turned to Kaylee McEwen actually, and I was like, I need to stop hugging people, I'll get COVID, which ended up happening anyway. But it was incredible. And I think it's everything that I dreamed of and more. And it was actually the first time I spoke to Harry, and I got to meet all the water polo girls and some of the boys. So I think that was the biggest thing, is having such like an incredible community of athletes and just people around you that you get to share that experience with.
We might touch on that COVID moment a bit later on. Keisha, any special visitors that you saw into the village? I heard about Jess Mauboy, Queen Mary being in there.
Yeah, Jess Mauboy, she was singing happy birthday to people. It wasn't my birthday, but I was willing to pretend. Yeah, the Queen, I missed the Queen come in, Queen Mary. I think the Inspired Unemployed came in. Anyone else?
I think the Carter brothers, Kaylee McEwen's step brothers, came in to the village. I think they're making content similar to the Inspired Unemployed now.
Yeah, no, there's it was, and my daughter came in, which is a huge celeb.
For me. She's a celeb.
She's a celeb, yeah.
How was it having a nursery for the first time?
Yeah, it was incredible. In terms of change makers, I mean, for me, for a lot of athlete mums, the nursery was an absolute game changer. To be able to have your family come and visit you at your biggest event of your life was just amazing. You know, to have that sense of familiarity and just sense of that you can fulfill both roles was something that was really special to me. And I'm so happy to have been a part of this Olympics as a mum, because it was just so accommodating and really special.
A lot of these students in the audience today will be facing challenges of different shapes and sizes, whether it's around school, something out of school, it might be around this Changemaker Forum and submitting videos around something that they're really passionate about. Can you reflect on a big challenge that you've had in your water polo career to date and how you've overcome it?
Yeah, I think I've had many challenges, as I think these other two athletes can attest to as well. You know, when I have had injuries, I've had deselection, you know, coming back as a mum, there's obviously a lot of challenges to do with that. I think looking back on my entire career, my biggest challenge was overcoming my self-critic. So a lot of you might be, you know, high performers, or you might be striving for something really amazing, and what you say to yourself is actually what derails you sometimes. And I think that can happen to anyone, especially when you want to achieve something that's really big or really important to you. So I think what I've learned as a mum, which, you know, it's taken me a long time, and I hope you guys learned it maybe a bit sooner than I did, but that, you know, you should be really advocating for yourself and cheering yourself on, and being a critic all the time isn't the best thing. I think I want to now talk to myself how I'd want to talk to my daughter. So for you guys, think about, how would you like to talk to your younger self? How would you like to frame it as a lesson rather than a mistake? I think that's the biggest challenge that has just been constant for me, overcoming that self-critic. So there's been bigger moments, but yeah, I guess overall, my biggest challenge would be overcoming that self-critic.
Yeah, I love that. Harry, for you, you went from winning a medal in Tokyo to not performing in the ring how you would have liked in Paris, and you shared really openly and you were really vulnerable about how you felt about that performance. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was obviously it's like almost like my biggest nightmare come true. It was like a weird thing. I think like a lot of athletes would do visualization, and for months on end I was just visualizing myself standing on top of the podium, and I could see it, I could feel it. And then I guess, because what you mentioned, like we've all got like a self-critic, we've all got something inside of ourselves that I like to call it like the devil and the angel. And I think like my devil is the one that critiques me and thinks I'm not good enough or not worthy enough, and then the angel is the one that thinks I can, and the reason why I'm in the arena, and it's the thing that I try and turn to as much as I can. But I think that devil almost become true in that moment, and to sort of just go through that process and not actually think that was going to happen, my biggest nightmare, and it actually did happen. And then just also realizing that the world continues. And of course it sucks, and of course it's frustrating, but it's also like there's so many bigger things going on in the world, and of course I need to honour my emotions and honour how I'm feeling and still strive for great things. But it's like losing a sporting match or failing at something, it actually doesn't change who you are as a person. And the way I collect evidence of what type of person I am is just like those little moments in the day where you're like, help someone out, or your family member calls you and asks for help, and you give them a hand, or you be there for someone in moments of need. Like, that's how I sort of collect the evidence that I am a good person, rather than through sporting achievements. Although sporting achievements have definitely helped me with many things in my life, build confidence and build the strength for believing that I'm capable and worthy. But it's the little moments in the day of how we treat other people. I think that's way more important than winning a sporting match, for sure. Yeah.
I really like that idea of collecting evidence, because I think, reflecting on what you've both touched on, like that self-critic and when we're speaking negatively about ourselves, so often it's not founded in facts. It's something that we are just telling ourselves. Is it something you write down? Like, how do you make it like cold, hard evidence?
Yeah, I think it's more like it's the stories we choose to believe about the world is how we will end up seeing the world, right? So it's like, if you believe the world is blue, you will look out at the world and see blue a lot of the time. So I think a lot of my life, I thought I wasn't worthy. So then I would continue just collecting the evidence that I wasn't worthy. So I would, let's say, win a number of sporting events, like little fights when I was younger. And then as soon as I lost it, it's like I collected the evidence that I wasn't worthy, right? And it's up to us. Like, we may not have had control of the chapters that have been written in our life so far, but like, as long as we have awareness, we always are the dictators of what we write next. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's like little moments in the day, even if you just have to change it, like today, go and choose to do one nice thing for someone and collect that evidence and sit in it. Like, even if you have to just like actually do the action of it. Writing down is not my thing. I do voice memos. That's actually,
I'm here for a voice memo. I love it.
I don't know. I've always tried to journal, but I suck at journaling. So voice memos is my thing, but I always just try my best to, even if you have to put yourself out there more often and do the things, but collect the evidence that you are who you say you are. And then slowly but surely, I felt like my narrative with myself has become way better.
Yeah, awesome. You were ringside for your good mates, Caitlin Parker and Charlie Senior, when they won medals in Paris. You're obviously an individual athlete, but what does it feel like celebrating the team in that broader sense?
Yeah, it's massive. Caitlin Parker was the first female for Australia to win a medal in boxing, and she's been like my big sister. She's only a year older, and she's a little bit taller than me. But she likes to pick on me a bit because she's taller than me. But she's a legend. She's been like my big sister from about the age of about 16, and we've travelled the world together. And just to be almost like in the crowd, so close to her in that moment when she won, Australia's first medal for boxing in females. So I'm so stoked to be there and just sort of watch her challenges, right? Like, sometimes, I know we were talking before, sometimes you get more nervous for your friends or from your family playing, and like, I love competing, but like, I was sitting in the crowd, I was feeling so sick watching her fight. But she really rose to the occasion in that tournament, and I think she finally showed the world what she was worth, and so grateful she got that, and for Charlie to do that too. I think Australia's never won a gold medal in boxing, and I think leading into Brisbane 2032, I think it's time. It's time.
Absolutely. Just touching on pressure, Lani, for you, being part of the Australian Dolphins swim team comes with a huge amount of expectation. How have you learnt to deal with that level of pressure?
Yeah, I think I learnt that last year. I missed the team in 2021 by one spot. I went through a series of health issues and that sort of thing. And then in 2022, I had like the year of a lifetime. I swam so well, and coming off that and being kind of in the public eye and having those results going into 2023, I just felt like unless I won a gold medal or swam better and performed better than I did in 2022, then everyone was going to think I was a disappointment or a failure or that I wasn't good enough. And what Harry was saying, like, the day after a race or the day after a competition, everyone's moved on. Like, it's done, it's history, and it's like, what's next? So I think last year, being disappointed with how I swam in Fukuoka for the World Championships was probably the best thing that I could have done going into the Olympics. The whole year, all I really told myself was like, I want to make the Olympic team. And beyond that, I didn't really have expectations or a goal for myself. And I think it's interesting looking at it now, just for myself, because the 800, I went into the final like desperate to come home with a medal. But the video that I recorded before I went out was, I'm proud of myself no matter what. So I think it's interesting when you get hindsight and you get to kind of reflect on the journey that you've been on and what you have achieved. And I think if I could sit down and talk to little 6-year-old me and be like, you're 6th in the world in an individual event and you have an Olympic gold medal, like, she'd be kicking her little feet. So Yeah, I think swimming is one of those events where we always have the pressure, and I think it's because we've been so successful in it for a long time. But I also think that that's such a privilege that we get that opportunity to have, I guess, that level of excitement around us racing.
Do you think we need to continue to shift that narrative a bit more around celebrating actually making it to the Olympics rather than celebrating medals so heavily?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my roommate ended up 4th in the 200 butterfly, and she was so disappointed because she thought that she hadn't done enough. But I think like her being at the Olympics and being 4th in the world is something that probably needed to be celebrated a lot more. And I think when I looked at the media that was coming out from the swimmers, unless you medal, you kind of looked at like you haven't done enough. And I think it's probably the same across different sports and that sort of thing. But I also think that we definitely have made moves in terms of, I guess, showing athletes that you're always going to have the support from home no matter what. I remember coming home off the charter flight into Sydney and having so many people just excited to see us. Coming home from the Olympics was something so special, and I wish I could just relive that moment again and again.
Yeah, it's really special. Keisha, talk to us about qualifying for the gold medal match in Paris and the pressure that comes with moments like that.
So if you didn't watch, we had our semi-final against the USA, and the USA have been the dominating force in women's water polo for so many years. They had a 64 game winning streak at one point. They have just been the top of the top for such a long time, and that was our semi-final matchup. So we went into that game, and you know what's weird? We actually went into that game extremely calm. I think a lot of my teammates, we spoke about it after, and we all had this sense of calm. And you could see it, I think, when you watched the game. You could see that calm. So the game starts, and we actually get to the first quarter. I think it's 5-2, and we're down. So we're down by 3 goals. That's a lot of goals in water polo. That's probably about the time our team would normally start to panic, start to do, crazy things that aren't in the game plan, start to, make mistakes because we're trying too hard. That's kind of what our team has been known to do in the past, and that doesn't happen. We all are completely calm. Some of the girls say they haven't even looked at the score, but they don't even know the score. And we get to the end of the game, and it's a tied match. So we've clawed our way back, and we're ended the game, and we're tied. So that means a penalty shootout. Now, America as well have you would say, debatably one of the world's best goalkeepers. And so I think the commentators, if you're watching on TV, said, it doesn't look good for Australia here. Which is, I don't hope they weren't Australian commentators. I don't know. But again, the team didn't panic. Our coach didn't panic. We're all, we're calm, and we know that we've done the work, and whatever happens, like we did such an amazing job to get to this point. And okay, long story short, they shoot, we shoot, they shoot, we shoot, they score, we score, then we save it. So
let's go.
So we win the game, and it is just this epic moment. But the reality is, we hadn't led in the game up until that point, that moment. We had not led. We were down the entire game until we actually won. So it was this incredible, incredible moment. And half the girls didn't even know that the game was over because they were just so in the moment, just play by play, shot by shot, not thinking too far ahead. And that was how we were playing each and every game. That's how we were going into our first game, our second game, even our days off. What does this day look like? What does this moment look like? And, I have no doubt that that's why we got as far as we did. That's why we have that silver medal, because I have the experience from Rio where we were chasing that gold medal. We were thinking about that gold medal before we even got on the plane to go. And we didn't make it past the quarterfinal. And that team was, trained just as hard. And we did all the work, but we weren't in the moment. So this team, we were in the moment to the point where our captain said to one of the girls, "We've won," because she just had no idea that was the end of the game. We were just so in the moment that we didn't even know what was the next thing to come. So, it was this incredible experience, and just, first thing I did was look to the crowd and see my husband crying, and, it's going to get me. Next question.
if you're emotional at that point, how did it feel standing on the podium with a silver medal being put around your neck?
Yeah, that was... Look, a silver medal is interesting, right? Like, you know, you see people really disappointed receiving silver medals, and it's hard for the public to understand that. And I think with a team sport especially, you've lost the gold, you know? And we had that moment after our game. We had that moment, but we rallied towards each other and we said, you know, like, we've won this silver. Like, we won a medal when we won that game, when we won that semi-final. The day after that semi-final, I remember walking around the village and I was like, does anyone know that I have a medal? Like, you can't see it. I don't know what colour it is. You can't see it, but I've got a medal. And then I saw my daughter and, of course, she couldn't care less. But when I stood up on that podium and they put that medal around my neck, it was really heavy. And I guess that was really symbolic to me because that was, for me, you know, I've been in the national team, national squad since 2007, I've been in the squad. Since 2009, I've been in the team. 2009. So that's a long time. That's a lot of weight in that medal for me. So I felt all of it. And then eventually my neck got really sore. I had to give it to someone else. But it was a special moment.
I'm going to give you a moment to gather yourself. And one of Lani's Dolphins teammates is Bronte Campbell. And Bronte was part of the Changemaker Forum last year. Another one of her talents that you might not know about is her poetry writing. She wrote something really special for Paris, and Nine Network produced a really magical video, so let's take a look at it. This might make you more emotional.
The backwards clock has run its time, and forward we advance, and leave it all on the line, and leave nothing to chance. We had a dream, a burning flame, and we held it in our hands, and it pushed us, fail, try again, through pain and fear unplanned. And now we stand on the edge, back to the River Seine. In history, our names are etched, your time, your race, your lane. The circus whirls all around, we stay steady in the storm. Here the victor wears the crown, here the brave step to the fore. The water laid at your feet, the stage we dreamt of from the start. Irrespective what's ours to keep, the work that gave the dream its heart. The whistle shrill, crowd stills. Anxious lungs inhale, this time is ours, do what we will, to strive is to prevail. Every hard-fought, sweaty minute, every second you gave your all. Every sacrifice beyond all limits, every break and every fall. But rise and rise again, and in the very act of rising, feed the hungry dreamer's flame. The victory is in the striving.
How good is that? I'm such a sucker for any Olympics video. It just gives me goosebumps, honestly. Harry, you said you don't write a lot, so I don't know if it's voice memo poetry, but it is something that you've dabbled in. Where did it come from and what do you love about it?
Yeah, I've been writing poetry since 2021. Nothing like Bronte. She's amazing. I'm more of like the surface level stuff. But yeah, I feel like I've been obsessed with self-growth and self-exploration. And I think it stems from me. I always thought that Olympic glory was going to make me feel different about myself. I thought it was going to make me, I don't know, feel like I was finally enough, right? And I think from about the age of 16, I was obsessed with like having a better relationship with myself, and it's a long process, and it's not like a linear thing. It's not like I've just woken up one day and gone, oh, I love myself. Like I think some days you feel really good in yourself, right? And I'm sure we can all vouch for this. Some weeks we have a really hard week, but I was like journaling, and journaling just really wasn't my thing. I feel like I was like, right, today was good. Like it was just really basic and just really didn't sort of like, I didn't feel like I got anything off my chest. And when I started writing, I was inspired by Matthew McConaughey. He's got a great book called Green Lights. And yeah, when I started writing, it was just like actually my little space where I could where I could go. Sometimes I share them, sometimes they're mine. If you went through like the diary that I sometimes write them in, or it's in my notes on my phone, like there's some chaotic ones in there that I'm just like, they'll probably put me in jail if you read them. But yeah, it's like, it's for me, it's a space where I go to I don't just allow things to fully process in my mind. I feel like when I finally put them out on something, I just feel like I can see it a little bit better rather than it just being trapped in my brain.
Yeah, awesome. Lani, being an Olympian comes with almost an automatic platform. How do you view that opportunity to make an impact, whether it's in your local sporting community or through social media or whatever that might look like for you?
Yeah, I think so. In 2021, I went through like a distorted eating pattern. I was obsessed with being thin and losing weight, and just thought that that was how I was going to achieve my Olympic dream. I was told to lose 4 kilos, and at that point was so young and impressionable, and I was like, well, if I lose the weight, then I'll make the Olympics and I'll be fine. I miss the Olympic team, so don't do that. But until I made like the team the next year, like I didn't speak about it to media, I didn't speak about it to the public, and I actually ended up like word vomiting it straight after I made the team to a journo, and it was honestly like really like lifting, and I felt like I'd lifted a weight off my shoulders to finally be able to kind of like speak about that and have influence in that area. And I think by being honest, it gives other people that are maybe going through that in private like an opportunity to maybe reach out to someone or start a conversation and speak to someone about something like that. And it's something that I'm still going through. It's something I'll probably go through for the rest of my life after developing those like kind of mental patterns. But at the same time, I wouldn't be the person I am today without going through those hardships, and I definitely wouldn't be the athlete that I am today, and be more self-aware and understanding that like food is fuel and that it's important. That I think as female athletes, it's so hard, especially in swimming and water polo and gymnastics and stuff like that. There's the tiniest little piece of fabric between you and modesty, like there's nothing. So your whole body's on show 100% of the time. So the critics and everything that I felt were just heightened by that sense that I had nothing to cover anything. So yeah, I think that was probably one thing that I've been really passionate about sharing and being really honest about. And if that conversation can help someone that's in a similar position, then I'm happy, and I'm happy that I can share that.
It's really powerful. Thanks for your vulnerability and sharing that with us today.
Probably the first time I've not cried, so
Well done. Well done. Well done. And Keisha, you touched on becoming a mum. Is that an area for you that you feel like you want to advocate for more female athletes in sport?
Oh, definitely. I think we were saying before, when I was pregnant, the assumption to me was, oh, so you've stopped water polo now. And I want to have a hand in changing that. For it to be a choice, and it is, of course, a choice, to come back to sport. And we saw in Paris a lot of mums coming back to their sport. And I think if one athlete, comes back after seeing me do it, then I think that's my job done. I'm so proud to have been able to do it myself, and I'm also conscious that I was incredibly lucky. I have an amazing husband who was supportive of me. I have an amazing mum who was willing to travel. I had to live with my mum, which, I don't know, you're teenagers, right? You probably didn't want to do that when you're 34. So, there's sacrifices that I had to make, and potentially that isn't for everybody. And it doesn't have to be, you should come back to sport. That's not what I want. I want people to know they have a choice. And for mums in different professions to go after their goals, because, for me, being the best mum was always being the best person, being the best of myself, and the best me is pursuing my goals. And my goal's always been to be the best athlete I can be. So I felt like I had to do what was right by my daughter to come back. So that's what I did.
Before we open up to the students on the floor, Harry, do you have a piece of advice for these young people who are conscious of making change and advocating for change in their own communities?
Ooh, I don't know about one piece of advice, but I think it's always, I think it's really important to sort of like try and understand why we want to do things. I think for, I've been quite obsessed with, like, when I was 7 or 9, I wasn't really sure why I wanted to go on this Olympic journey, but I guess through retrospect, I can really understand what drove me and the good and bad side of what drove me. But I think it's really important because in any endeavor that you do in life, it's like there's going to be hard days, sometimes hard weeks. But it's like if we really know why we're doing it and why we're passionate about something, or if it like feeds that flame and makes us feel alive, or whatever it is, like whatever the reason is that you want to make change or you want to do something, it's like you're going to have hard days. And I think on those hard days, when you know why you're doing it, it's just a lot easier to get out of bed, because sometimes, like, I'm sure you guys can vouch for this, like you don't want to get in the pool at 5 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the winter, or, you know, you're probably very, very similar. Like, you know, your baby's crying, you're like, I've got to go train. Like, it's just part of it. Like, you're going to have hard weeks, but if you know why you're doing it and why you want to make change, I think it's so much easier to get up out of bed and to make sure you attack the world in a positive way.
I think sometimes people think that making change in sport and all of the goals and stuff that you have is motivation, but I think it ends up being discipline. When you wake up on a hard day, it's not the motivation that's going to get you out of bed. It's whether you're disciplined enough to really commit to that and be like, even if I don't want to do it, like I have to do it.
Because the motivation can waver from day to day, right? Yeah. Let's open up. I think we've got a bit of a roaming mic somewhere. Yes, we've got the dice. So the dice is going to be thrown around. So maybe if you want to pop your hand up, has anyone got a question? And we'll get the dice to you to ask any of the athletes a question. Who wants to? Oh, yes.
Yes, first one's always the hardest.
First is hard.
Yeah.
Did any of you meet Snoop Dogg?
I didn't.
Or I didn't either. I wanted his pin. Did you see like the? Yeah. No.
Did he have his own pin?
It was really cool.
That's cool.
Didn't meet Snoop Dogg, but I met Rafa Nadal. So that was cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else from the audience got a question? We're a bit shy today. Yes, front row. The dice is coming.
My question's a bit odd. So when you go swimming and you're about to touch the finishing line, see how you have nails, right? So if your nails were longer, wouldn't you have more of a chance to come first?
So I really don't think it makes that much of a difference. Ariana and I actually got like scrutinized by media, and we had so many people commenting on our Instagram saying that we were cheating for having long nails, which just isn't the case. But when I finish, I don't touch nails first. I kind of like have to dip my hand a little bit. So I think the amount that you gain by having long nails ends up losing on the finish anyway. But I think if you're willing to break a nail or jar a finger, you could finish nails first, but I am not willing to do that.
Has anyone told you to focus on something else other than Olympics?
We're actually talking about this before. So my and I understand it comes from a place of love, but my parents really wanted me to go down a different avenue. They didn't think that I could make a life from boxing, or they didn't think, they always wanted me to, I don't know, do a degree, or I was a plumber for a period of time, like finish a qualification. They always wanted me to do something else because they didn't believe that I could make the life that I thought I could. And at times that's like, I understand now that it comes from a place of love. They just want me to be safe. They want me to not struggle. And that's the reason why they were saying it. But I think as a young person, like I felt quite, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I felt quite shit. Like it wasn't a nice feeling, I guess, for the people close to you to not fully believe in what you're believing in. And it's just one of those things, right? Like you'll go through your life and there are so many times that my parents have supported me and have encouraged me and always been in the crowd when they've been able to make it. And I know that, and I know they love me and support me, but it's, I always think it's up to us as individuals, right? It's like what life we want. We can listen to other people if we want to, and there's so many people that inspire us, help us, and motivate us. And there's also some people who are like, don't fully believe in you, right? But it's up to us. It's like if we believe in ourselves, if we think we're worthy, then we'll do it. If we choose to believe to those other people, like, then we're letting them win, or we're letting them sort of have that over us. But I always think like we're in the arena, we're doing it. Like, but yeah, for sure, there's definitely been times where they haven't fully believed in me. I don't know about you guys, but.
I know you talked about negative like self-talk and overcoming that, but how do you overcome like negative relationships with coaching and negative coaching relationship, like situations like that?
I've got, can I jump in? I think...
No, you can't.
I'm the boss here, I'm jumping in. I think something I've learned throughout my career as an athlete is around having to have uncomfortable conversations. And I think as a young person, it's something that can be really, really scary. I think with sport and selection, those relationships with coaches can be really difficult to navigate because there's a fear of if you might speak out or something that you might risk having your selection on the line for whatever it might be that you're doing. But I think it's about putting yourself, to me it was always about putting myself in a situation to have an uncomfortable conversation in a safe environment first. So it might be with your parents or someone that you trust, almost practicing having an uncomfortable conversation. You don't need to pick a fight over nothing for the sake of it, but I think like learning to have maybe differing views with someone in a safe environment and almost build up over time, because I think it's really important to be able to advocate for yourself and learn to speak up when you might feel like you disagree with something or feel uncomfortable about something. But I think it's also about being kind to yourself and not kind of beating yourself up if you don't have the courage yet to be having those really hard conversations, but knowing that in time that it might come.
Yeah, and I'd probably add, so when you do have those conversations, being able to decipher the message. I think sometimes your coaches aren't necessarily trained in how to deliver feedback in the best possible way. And, you know, maybe that's where change makers can go. But, like, what is your coach trying to tell you? Because hopefully they're trying to get you to be the best that you can be, or your teacher or your whoever it might be. So are they telling it in a way that's going to help you understand it? Maybe not. So take the time, maybe it's an upsetting message. So take the time to be upset about it, because, hearing stuff that is hard feedback sometimes is hard. But then taking, okay, what's the message? Before Rio, I got dropped from the Olympic team 3 times, and each time my coach told me, like, why I didn't make the team. And of course, that sounds really constructive, but it hurts. So I had to go away and I, cried, and I gave myself a 24-hour window to cry about it. And then I'd figure out, okay, what's the message? Okay, he said, I'm not a fast enough swimmer. Okay, I'm going to go to the pool. I'm going to train harder. I'm going to do 5 seconds faster on this. You get the point. So, so I think it's having the conversation. That's the first step. Like hearing the message, really hearing it, taking it in, and then figuring out, what am I going to do about it?
I love that. Conscious of, we got time for one more? Yeah, last one.
How are the cardboard beds?
They weren't that bad. Like,
I love them.
Yeah, I don't. Did you guys get mattress toppers? Yeah.
Oh, Harry. Sorry, Harry.
I didn't get one.
Okay, well, so yeah, Swimming Australia provided the swimmers with mattress toppers. So we had an inch thick, maybe 2 inches thick mattress. But on the last night, I think everyone slept on just the mattress and the cardboard bed for closing ceremony. We were kicked out of the village, so we didn't get to keep our mattress toppers. But we came in on the last night, and honestly, like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I think everyone's put in the same boat. Everyone's got the same situation. And I think sometimes the Olympic Village ends up being like, who can race the best and perform the best in the most unideal circumstances. And there's kind of comfort in knowing that everyone is going through the exact same thing.
And also they're cardboard, right? So they're environmentally sustainable. Imagine having however many athletes banister beds, having to get rid of those. So I mean, yeah, if it wasn't that bad, and it's for a good cause.
I love that. I'm going to ask you 3 to stay on stage with me, but can we give them a round of applause for their incredible insights today? Change makers, don't forget to submit your videos to go in the running to be a part of the National Summit in Canberra. And teachers, nominate your change makers. It's not too late. To take us out, here is a sensational Aussie team rap video with some of the very special memories from Paris.